Attention contractors, remodelers, and homeowners. Is your renovation becoming a pain in the glass? Here at Glass Vegas, we take care of all of your glass needs. From a broken window to custom shower doors, mirrors, winding closures, storefronts, railings, and much more. We can even help you with new or replacement thermally broken windows. We're a full-service, woman-owned glass company that provides unparalleled workmanship, excellent communication, and great customer service. Glass Vegas. We do glass with class.
Welcome to Closets Las Vegas, the city's premier custom closet and storage company. We provide complete storage solutions for all price ranges and projects, backed by our 20 years of experience. Whether it's a closet, pantry, garage storage, floor coatings, entertainment center, laundry room, home office, custom bookcases, and window coverings, Closets Las Vegas will give you the look and feel you want in your home. Please contact me, Pat, for your free consultation, and don't forget to ask about 0% financing for 18 months. I look forward to working with you.
Does your house look like and have you been considering remodeling your home for some time now? Well, if you love real estate like I do and appreciate the attention to detail in the craftsmanship required to build a remodel or a gorgeous home, then I got the perfect company for you. Guys, I highly recommend Design Zone Remodeling. They are a stellar company that will turn your outdated home into your own personal sanctuary. They specialize in bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, and full house remodels. Design Zone Remodeling has a reputation for excellent workmanship, competitive fees, and being able to offer a wide range of services and deliver the outstanding results to their clients. I use Design Zone Remodeling on my personal properties. Give Design Zone Remodeling a call today at 725-223-0871 or visit their website at designzoneremodeling.com to request a free consultation today. Is your credit score holding you back from purchasing a home? GC Credit Coaches is a repair company that's made easy. Their goal is to challenge and remove all negative errors that hurt your credit score. On average, GC clients see about 10.2 negative items removed over 4 months. Start improving your credit score today with a simple 2-minute online enrollment for a free consultation and a complete credit audit. GC Credit Coaches offers competitive monthly pricing, no contracts, no hidden fees, and the service stops once you are satisfied. GC Credit Coaches removes inquiries, collections, charge-off bankruptcies, and repossessions. Don't forget to visit gccreditcoaches.com. Hi Chakits, I have been following you and watching your YouTube channel for years.
I have decided to finally relocate to Las Vegas and want to start a new chapter in my life. I know you're the perfect realtor to help guide me to find my next dream home. I am looking for a modern kitchen, large backyard with a pool and a golf course community.
My name is Chakits Krulsawat with Simply Vegas, a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I help buyers like this all the time, so if you're looking for a licensed professional, give us a call at 702-319-1092 or visit lvhomeexperts.com. Buying a home starts here. All right, what's up, everybody? Another day here in Las Vegas. The weather's getting great out here. If this is your first time tuning into this show, my name is Chakits Krulsawat, a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada with Simply Vegas. And welcome to the LV Home Experts Podcast, where we talk about real estate and financing every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today I have a very special guest. His name is Derek. He's an agent out in Honolulu, Hawaii. And we're going to just chop it up today. We're going to talk about, what's going on with Hawaii. A lot of people are actually moving from Hawaii out to here. And the reasons why. I mean, obviously it's the cost of living. That's part of it. But we're going to dive deep into it. So I want to introduce you guys to Derek. Derek, welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
And for some of you guys don't know, Derek is also a YouTuber as well. He has a YouTube channel. Is that right, Derek?
That's correct.
What's the name of that YouTube channel?
You know what? I'm good. I don't, because you want the right people finding your YouTube channel who want to move to Hawaii. So if that's not their thing and they're just gonna check it out, it's not really good for the algorithm. So, but we have a podcast called Podcast Hawaii.
A podcast
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Conversations around Hawaii. That's a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for agents, we have another channel, Lead, Suck, Create Clients. But
well, that's how strong the channel is. You got to make sure people just don't look at what happens if they're curious. They want to move to Hawaii.
Well, so for the people moving to Hawaii, if they go to YouTube and start searching those kind of terms, we're probably gonna pop up first
In the algorithm.
Yeah. You see a big bald-headed BJ Penn looking dude, and then out of shape BJ Penn, and my partner, she does well as well on the channel, and yeah, it'll just happen, you know.
So who's your partner?
Her name is Mahe.
Okay, so she's your business partner. Is that what it is, or?
Yeah, she's like the lead agent on my team.
And got it.
Co-star on the YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
And then have a media guy. So we just all call ourselves partners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. And how long have you been in the business for?
I've been licensed for May of 2019. I got licensed, but I didn't really do much. I was working a job, and I really got serious COVID like April of 2020.
Wow, and we were having a conversation. You do about what, over 50 million a year, correct? In sales?
Yeah, we might this year. I'm hoping we go north of 60 this year, but 50-ish, 50 something million a year.
You know what? That's very impressive, especially starting, since like 2000. Well, when was COVID? Like 20?
Three years ago, 3.5 years.
When was COVID? Was it in
2020?
2020. It was like October or some shit like that, right?
March, because I moved home to Hawaii March 17th, 2019.
Oh, so you moved to Hawaii and COVID hits.
And then 1 year later, COVID happened. So I was working a job at the hospital. I used to be an X-ray tech.
Okay.
And, I was working a job, and I said, you know what? If people, I see how hard Queens Hospital and town, and people who aren't from Hawaii, saying town is like saying the city or something, right? But Queens Hospital, they work their people so hard. I looked around at the people. There's people that just look aged from the just decades of hard work. And it's like, if I can work even 70% this hard in my real estate business, I don't even know what it means to succeed in real estate.
Yeah.
But I know that I can say, I can talk about ROI. I can talk about cash flow. I can speak some of the lingo. And if I can work that hard, there's no way I won't succeed at some level. And, had some success, failed, figured it out, and then now we're doing pretty good and helping other people.
Well, sorry for the interruption, but York, when you get a chance, will you go get that energy drink out of the vehicle for me, please? I can't even keep up with Derek. He got too much energy. I'm about to fucking pass out.
Pre-ordering Ubers.
Can I tell that story?
Tell the story.
Okay, so Derek asked me how long we're going to take and what time we're going to start because he wants to pre-order an Uber. And I started laughing. I said, yo, bro, this is not like Hilo where you got to pre-order an Uber. It's like Vegas is so convenient. Like everything is literally just a doorstep out. You know what I'm saying? Like you can literally get whatever you want, right?
And I heard your office address is Henderson. So I was like, oh,
that's far.
It's going to be far. And it's just right off the strip. It's not even that far. I thought Henderson's like this far place away from the strip.
Is this your first time in Vegas?
No, I've been to Vegas, Ninth Island, right?
Yeah.
So we came a handful of times. We'd mostly visit family. And they stayed elsewhere in town. Mm-hmm. Funny story. I came one time, the first time I ever came to Vegas, I didn't understand how much of the Ninth Island it is.
It really is.
There were a couple of things that stood out. One, like you'd see other Hawaii people and they wouldn't even be like, hey, it's like, yeah, you're from Hawaii, me too. We all from Hawaii.
Hey.
So it was no special thing.
Hey, but like, hey. Yeah,
but not as like California, you would like stop and talk because you'd be like, oh, a rare like brethren,
Yeah.
But here it was like, nah, it's just like quick, eye nod or whatever. But then I was walking through a mall. And is this clean? Do you cuss on here?
Yeah, you can cuss.
He was like, I was walking through the mall and I
Thank you.
heard, "Oh, Derek, you fucker!" And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "What?" And then it was this guy from my high school. He's like, "Bro, how you doing?"
Oh, I was like, hey, what are you doing here? Hey, what mall? What mall was that?
I don't know. I don't know where I was. I don't know where I was.
Hey, what does that mean? Hey, you fucker.
Hey, it's just like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" Kind of
Hey.
thing. And I was like, "Wow, this is really Ninth Island. You see high school friends out here."
You know what's so funny is since I've been out here, there's a lot of high school friends that actually moved out here. It's amazing.
You went to Moanaga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like tons of people, from my school that moved up here. It's just kind of crazy. My childhood friends. I mean, some of them are still back there because, they just love that lifestyle. And there's nothing wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like Hawaii is more of really laid back, right? It's not so much of a hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
Like Las Vegas, like when I go to Hawaii, it literally goes from 100 down to like 30 miles an hour. Yeah, it's just, but you have that spirit of aloha. It's like cruise, but like some of my friends, they still doing the same old shit, working Monday through Friday. Can't wait till, 5 o'clock. We can get some,
Green bottles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to barbecue, cruise, watch the game, play some cards. That's fun. And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's about like, family and culture, right? And that's very strong there. But Las Vegas, what I notice, it's like fast paced, going, right? It's not always necessary about the money, but you're constantly on the move. The lifestyle here is completely different from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and there's good and bad that comes with it, right? Like the just cruising, drink a couple Heinekens every night, beach on the weekends can get kind of mundane if you're an entrepreneur type, right? But you can also find your hustle in Hawaii if you want it.
Yeah.
Out here could be maybe a little too much hustle for people, and it's just, I think it's good for people to leave Hawaii, expand, spread their wings, and then if they want to come home. Vegas may not be the biggest departure from Hawaii because there's so many people here. Like if you go UNLV, like it's like going UH satellite campus, But I was actually born in Florida.
Yeah.
I moved to Hawaii mid-childhood. I went to intermediate in high school, and then I joined the Coast Guard. I left for a long time. So I have a really mix of experience. And that thing you were saying about friends doing the same thing, I see mainland guys too, like in the Coast Guard, they would say that about their hometown in Indiana or whatever. Like everyone's just doing the same thing. I think it's somewhat of a symptom of where you come from.
Yeah.
Like they're always going to have that. You go back in your 40s, 50s, and same guys are at the same bar.
Yeah.
But
now they own the bar.
Hopefully. But Hawaii does have a different sort of complacency, and that's why our education at a higher level isn't as good. But also, I lived in the Bay Area for over a decade, and
how was that compared to Hawaii versus Vegas?
So now the Bay Area has just become just crazy because you can't prosecute people as criminals. I went and visited a year ago, and our car got broken into. The people who did it are standing right there. Like, yeah, what? And I flagged down the cop, and the cop was like,
can't do nothing.
He was like, where are you from? And I was like, Hawaii. He's like, how long since you lived here? And I was like, oh, we moved, 4 years ago. Ever. He's like, Brad, don't come down here. Why are you bringing your wife down here to downtown Oakland? I was like, we used to all the time. He's like, yeah, but not after COVID. Don't come here.
That's funny that you say that because a certain percentage of our transactions are from people from the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. And what you're saying is the same thing that they're saying. And I don't know how true this is because I've never been out there, but they said it's not like how it used to be. Like, I don't know if this is true. Like, people will literally take a shit on the sidewalks. There's like needles and shit like that.
Yeah, so I have a natural level of like skepticism and discernment and even negativity that's helpful in entrepreneurship because I'm always calculating.
Yeah.
But in things like this, I don't even like to talk about the negative typically. It's not constructive. However, that's just the Bay now. When I went back, I would meet friends. They'd be like, how's it there? Hey, how's everything? How's the fam? Okay. And then as soon as that initial, like, how are you expired, time after time again, every friend we met, they unsolicited would say, hey, it's different here now. hey, it's dangerous here now. Hey, let me tell you a story. My car got stolen. Cops wouldn't even do anything. They caught the guy and just gave me my keys back. Like, every friend we met would be, hey, how's it going? How are you? Oh, yeah, kid's good. And then it would be that again. And then we personally got broken into. And so, yeah, the Bay is, like, people are fleeing, you know. It's different. But living in the Bay the 10 years that I did, it was interesting. Like, I grew up, but my 20s and early 30s was in the Bay. And
how would you say crime is in Hawaii? You
have crime too, right? But we always say, like, we'll tell, because we do a lot of relocation, and people are learning about Hawaii from us.
I'm sure that's probably one of the questions that they ask, right? Like, and I get this all the time, where I have people that are transitioning from a different state to here. Hey, what is the best locations? Make sure that put me in a place that doesn't have too much crime, right? Yeah. Obviously, as an agent, we can't say, hey, this is the best place to live, because what happens if you move in this area, next thing you know, somebody breaks into your house, right? So we can discuss that, we can't disclose it.
I'll do things like, hey, because we do videos on Hawaii Kai, Kailua. We also do videos on Kalihi and Waipahu, right? Yeah. And so we'll say, like, hey, you know, as an agent, we don't talk about how good a school or a neighborhood is in that fashion. You notice our last video was in Hawaii Kai in the marina, certain vibe. Here in Kalihi, it seems that the aesthetic is bars on windows. You know, and then people are like, I pick up what you're putting down. I'm like, for me, bars on windows isn't really my design choice. And I'll like pause and look at the camera, but maybe people
it's like wink wink,
but maybe people like that, and then people are like appreciate it. They're like, oh, he's being real, you know, as real as he can within the guidelines, you know.
Okay, so you do a lot of educational areas and just about the community about Hawaii. So your channel is really not hyper focused on selling homes. It's really educating people. If you move to Hawaii, we are the people that you contact should you decide to buy a home. But we show you everything about Hawaii, basically.
Yeah, we're your friend. I mean, a lot of YouTube for real estate is a relocation game, and it's a relocation tool. And so, because if I live in Henderson and I'm going to move by the Red Rock Casino, I don't know Vegas that well, but I don't need to go to the number 1 and number 2 search engine, Google, which owns the number 2, YouTube.
Yep.
I don't need to go to those platforms to learn, because I live here. Like, I know enough about it. I have a realtor friend, whatever. But if I'm fleeing the Bay, because now I can work virtually, and I'm like, oh, I can get a great house in Henderson, but what's the difference in Henderson and Summerlin? That's the other like town you compare that, right? Yeah, like, what's the difference? I need to understand that, the schools, the nuances, the commute, and I have no friends there, and at least even if I do, I can't take all their time educating me. So I go to the number 1, the number 2 search engine for this info. And so the type of content we put out is that, just, you know, teaching people about Hawaii. And because we're, you know, unapologetically raw and authentic, we attract a lot of local people too. They're like, hey, because, you know, they like grew up Kailua, Hawaii Kai. They're like, I haven't been to Waianae in 8 years. And interesting, you know.
Why is that when the island is so small? Like, I feel like I would get so bored I would have to drive around.
Yeah, but
do you just get like so like in tune of your daily routine? Is that what it is?
Well, like Waianae, as an example specifically, if you're gonna go, people say Circle Island. Oh, you guys gonna drive Circle Island? Or,
you can't do that going around Waianae, right?
Yeah, Waianae is like you gotta go in and go out. It's like the biggest U-turn.
Unless if you go off-roading though, right? Can't you like go around to that point and take an off-roading vehicle and go around?
When I get home, I'm buying a 4-wheel drive truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, when I go to Hawaii in December, you gonna have that truck by then?
I'll have it. I should have it in 2 weeks.
All right, let's manifest that right now. We'll have this truck in 2 weeks.
I drive. By the way, guys, we do well. So 50-something million in real estate, team, whatever, multiple 6 figures. I drive a 2014 Subaru Outback that I bought in California.
Okay, so you're saying you're humble, but you're about to buy a badass truck.
No, but you know what? Because my parking situation, we live in we don't have a big baller house. We have a small house.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a midsize because I can't fit like a F-150. I'd have to move every time my wife wants to leave.
But also, I think this is important. People need to know the level of an agent you are. $50 million, you know, within like 3 years, that's very impressive. Okay. Not only that, you do run a team as well. You have a social media, platform that works very well, for you. You got some kids as well. I mean, you got a handful of stuff, man. Like, I don't know how you do all this stuff, honestly.
There's a guy who came up with Gary Keller. His name's David Osborne. And I heard him on a Bigger Pockets podcast. He said, I got a lot of friends worth, I don't know what the figure he threw out, like 10 million plus or 100 million. It was some big number that most people don't reach. He's like, I got a lot of friends worth this amount plus. He's like, I don't know one of them who didn't work 10 years in the span of 5. I know one of them who didn't cram 10 years into 5 years, put their head down and grind. And I did that too, and so gained a little weight. I saw you a little heavier on those commercials, and now you're looking ready for the body competition.
Hey, you know what that means? I got to change up those commercials.
I saw, I'm there. I'm just starting to take care of, I was just telling someone last night, I approach my business with obsession, with a business plan, traction, quarterly rocks and all kinds of intention, coaching even.
Yeah.
Checking up on it, measuring success through whether it be KPIs or whatever. But then I don't have that same intentionality with my family, my kids, my wife, my marriage, and I'm changing that, so.
So you're finding that balance, and basically.
I'm working at it, right?
Yeah. I mean, not everybody's perfect. I mean, we all have our flaws, but I think what happens is as long as you're able to identify it, and that's where the start begins, right?
Yeah,
to identify it. So.
But success comes at a cost. So I don't want anyone out there. I don't know any like 50, 100, 200, $600 million producers who are like, they use words like everything in moderation, balance. It's like maybe now on the other side of that success, but in that initial ascent, they had to put their head down.
Oh yeah, you got to work. This stuff is not easy, man. It really isn't. You got to put in the work.
It's simple. It can be simple, but they're not always easy.
You're sacrificing something, right? You're sacrificing your time.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, if you have kids and a family, I mean, that's got to be hard. So that's the reason why I brought that up. Now, also, you mentioned that you do have a couple properties, and you are general partners on some apartment complexes or something like that, you're saying?
Limited partner,
limited partners, okay.
Yeah.
How many investment properties do you currently have right now?
Only one. So, I had a fourplex in Puerto Rico. We sold it.
Okay.
I have a A-class townhome, $1 million plus townhome in Hawaii on a resort in Ko'olina, 30-day rental at a time.
Damn, $1 million?
It's worth probably 1.15.
Dude, how much is your payment on something like that?
My burn rate with HOA and electricity is like $5,700.
Shit, and how much is to rent that out?
On good months, our gross on like an Airbnb platform, it's better when we book direct, right?
Okay.
But on a good month, we're like north of 9,000.
Okay, so you're making what, like 35 property management fees and all that, or are you managing it yourself?
We self-manage it. It's only like 11 bookings a year. But, winter to summer, winter, spring, summer, do good. Fall is slow. So we only owned it a little over a year now. So the first fall is like we just started it. We didn't perform well in the fall. Then this fall, Maui just happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether to attribute that to Maui. We just got granted Superhost. So next fall, we'll see. The investment is great for depreciation as a real estate professional.
And that's a lot of people don't know about the depreciation. That's part of, making money, obviously.
Yeah.
That's one of the benefits.
That's defense, right?
Yeah.
Defensive strategy is saving on taxes. So cost seg depreciation, good. Appreciation over the last year in a resort area, great. Cash flow,
Okay, so
A-class isn't usually for great cash flow.
how much money do you have into this deal?
Around 200,000.
Okay, what's your cash on cash return on it?
I don't have it.
Don't have it?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
so
have to figure it out.
So there isn't none then, right? Because you're paying like $60,000 a year on this thing.
We're on the annual. We're about at a break even.
Okay, so
we cash flow some months, we lose some.
Okay.
Yeah. We're about
So
at break
so
even.
you're breaking even, but you have the appreciation, obviously.
Yeah. So we bought it. We had an offer for $1,050,000, and I bought it for $975,000.
Why didn't you just sell it?
Because depreciation, appreciation. So Bought it for $975. Also, you got to figure I didn't take a commission, so that would have been more like $1 million if you added my commission. So I got about a $50,000 deal on it. Ours is really nice. One of the better units in the whole thing. My clients who bought it redesigned it and put some nice stuff in. We had to furnish it, but a comp is sold for 1.15, and that's going up. And then I saved probably 80,000 on taxes by buying it and doing the cost seg study.
Okay. And what's your exit strategy on something like this?
Well, when you do that cost segregation depreciation strategy to save taxes, the sooner you sell it, the more depreciation recapture you're going to experience. So you're going to get hit. It's in Hawaii. We might use it occasionally. We're going to keep that for quite a while, if not forever. And also, it's a pretty big asset, $1 million plus. So then the 1031 that, you got to be going into something bigger. And so this year, in the next few months, I'm going to buy something. And the strategy is to buy a little smaller, higher cash flow, maybe even lower loan to value, so we can be stable in whatever is to come next. And then when it comes time to 1031 in 7 years or whatever, it's a smaller thing. So you can enter Hawaii with the 1031 a lot easier.
Okay, and you are an LP on a couple deals, right?
Yeah. So those are the other investments I have. People, passive income is now a buzzword, and define passive, but LP, other than a REIT, like a real estate investment trust or whatever. That's what it stands for, right? Trust, real estate investment trust, right? Other than a REIT, which is basically like an index fund or something for what that real estate's the asset. LP is the most passive position you can be in. And so you give money to these, you find someone better than you. So start with, I'm not the best real estate investor in the world at every kind of real estate. And so I'm going to find someone better. If I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I don't necessarily say, no one can teach me judo because I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. It's like, find someone better at multifamily who you believe in. Put money in. You're a limited partner, so you're a shareholder of the LLC. You have no decision power. That's why it's a limited partner. So I don't want decision power. I want to just go do my thing, send me my checks, and when we exit, send me
my money.
And that's what LP is for.
Yeah.
It's like it's like chunking. Every time you make a certain amount of money and you have some extras. This big real estate coach told me, he said, it's like burying money in a coffee can in the backyard.
Yeah.
Just 25, 50,000. If you earn that and you have extra, put it in an LP position. You can go do more active stuff, but have some coffee cans out there.
So I guess the question is, why would you be an LP when you're already in real estate? Why don't you just go find your own deals and do your own deals and take 100% versus a certain percentage, 6%, 7%,
Yeah. Well, where focus goes, results flow. And my focus is on my team, helping people transact. I'm not, I respect multifamily more than to think that I am the best operator. The guys I invest with are really good operator, or at least the one guy is who I believe he's my guy. He's the reason why I believe in the group primarily. And, if you want the highest returns, it's active, right? So if you want to flip, you want to make the most, you manage the flip, you buy the stuff, you go to Lowe's, go to Home Depot, you go to scrap yards to find extra tile, and you get the most margins. But that's your time, right?
Yeah. It's time versus money.
If you find the deal and you find a hard money, you find a guy with cash, find an equity partner or capital partner, and you hire a manager to manage the whole thing, and you check in once a week, you'll make less money, but you have more time. So the LP positions, I would like to own a 60 unit myself or be a general partner or do a JV, a joint venture where 2 or 3 of us own the 60 unit. But right now, though, I like those 2 LP positions. They're performing well. They're usually underwritten at like a 19% IRR. Might be a little higher if you exit early because time and IRR have an inverse relationship.
Yeah.
But they're good. They're a good thing to have. And I am, I bought my townhome, did well with depreciation and appreciation. And performance just goes up because rents go up over time. Vacancy gets less and less over time. And we're buying some smaller residential stuff this year. So
Is there any good deals out in Hawaii right now?
define good, right? Like what's your investment criteria?
Let's just say, you know, can you actually get like 20% returns, cash on cash returns? Does that even exist?
Not on the market. No.
So you could technically find one off the market.
Sure. You can find gems. You can find
A lot harder though, right?
a lot harder, a lot less common. And so for me, that's a time thing is, do I put my effort into my real estate education business for teaching realtors YouTube? Do I put my time into selling houses? Or do I put my time into finding the deals?
Yeah.
All will work if you obsess.
Yeah.
But there's a cost, right? There's a cost to where your energy goes and your results flow. So I'm focused on results and my sales business, ramping up this education thing, and then my family, right? My family and my health, my personal health. So but as visionaries, right, we want to do, because especially once you achieve, like you build your real estate team, start selling houses, you're like, you understand that the only thing holding you back is mindset and effort. Like we could achieve anything, guys like you and I think. Most, a lot more than we think we can.
Yeah.
But also there's strategic overreach. So like, reason why Russia lost the last war, they extended their supply chain too far with the winter coming.
They thinned themselves out.
Strategic overreach.
Yeah.
And I might be holding myself back from achieving more, but I got first world problems, we make good money. My family does well. I can go buy a new truck. It's only a mid-size,
It's only a
mid-size Frontier.
How much are those things? Like 50, 60, 70?
No, like a Tacoma Frontier, they start in the 30s if it's like just a basic truck, but like 40 something thousand.
Who the hell has 40,000? You paying cash for this thing? You financing it?
Probably pay cash because I don't want to affect my DTI.
Oh, well, I mean, wouldn't you just leverage out a loan right now and just hold on to that money? Because I'm sure you make good money if you're closing over $50 million a year.
I can handle the DTI hit.
Yeah.
I'm.
Because don't you want to have your powder dry just in case of something, something happens, like an opportunity?
You can always go leverage it. You always go to the bank and credit union and say, let me take a loan against my truck.
Okay, I guess you could do that.
You can do that. So I think Dave Ramsey's great because what he teaches, everyone can do. Everyone can save and cut
that shit ain't for me, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Everyone,
that shit ain't for me, bro.
He's talking to the lowest common denominator. Yeah. Everyone can save and cut up their credit cards, right?
Yeah.
But beyond that is Kiyosaki, and Dave and Kiyosaki are friends. Like I know people who are like two couple steps removed that know Dave. Like he understands leverage. He knows that the way he speaks so absolutely. There's a percentage of people that can use leverage smartly. Yeah. But for cars, I keep it Dave Ramsey. I'm like, okay. If I can afford $1,000 a month payment and go flex and get a Raptor, the new like Dodge TRX thing.
I could see you at a. You know what? Talking about that, I'm surprised you don't get one of those Toyota 4Runners, lifted.
They're nice, but I want the truck bed.
Oh, you want the truck bed?
And 4Runner is a police car in Hawaii.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. 4Runner and Tacoma are like 10% of all the cars on the road.
I know.
So I'm getting the Frontier because it's a little bigger. I'm not a small guy, and everyone's like, bro, you're a big guy. You should get a full size truck. Like you look right on a full size truck. 350
Ford.
No, hell no. But
I can see you driving that. But where are you gonna park that damn thing though? Because the stalls are so damn small, man.
I'm practical. Like I would drive a Nissan Leaf. Like, I don't care, Yeah. If everyone's like, nah, you can't look cool in a Leaf. I'm like, bro,
I'm cool inside, bro. I make this thing look cool.
It's whatever. You're cool to me is your family time, your health, your passive income, your active income. Like, and if some guy, like, if Max Holloway was driving a Nissan Leaf, you still kind of.
He still whoop your ass.
He still kick your ass, I'm no Max Holloway, but it's just
I understand.
But I'm at a point where first time in my life I'm making more of an emotional decision. I'm gonna buy a truck and a little 2 or 3 inch lift, some tires.
Okay.
And a point. Go west side.
Oh, good for you. Yeah. Hey, so living in Hawaii, do you like surf, fish, or do you do anything like outdoors?
That would have been a problem because I should be darker, right? I just been working and staying indoors, but I grew up surfing. I grew up trying to, surf competitions. I would do well in like a more lower to mid competition. The really high level ones, I wouldn't do good. I grew up fishing with my dad. But more recently, it's been that, again, intention to do those things with my kids, because I'm realizing selling the gazillion houses doesn't matter if you don't take your kids fishing, So I'm working on that.
One thing I've learned as I've been making money through my career, and, I'm very blessed at this point. And one thing I realize, it comes to the point, it's no longer about the money. And I talk about this with like all my agents, like, you chase the dream, you chase the money, but what it really comes down to, it's just about creating memories at this point, dude.
Yeah.
Like the money, I don't even care about the money. But as an entrepreneur, I always look at my bank account every single day.
Yeah.
Because I always say this is the game, right? As an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because it's not about the money anymore. It's about what I do with my business, right? And I look at my account almost like it's a numbers game. You know when you play a video game?
It's just tokens, yeah.
That's exactly it is. You're trying to get the best scores possible. And it's what am I doing to maximize my time to make as much as points as possible. Because now it's just, I don't even look at what I make. I'm just like, let's do another deal. Let's do another deal. Let's just do another deal, right? And that's it, right? But I know that I'm kind of segueing to something different, but I want to jump back to Hawaii. I want to talk about like the cost of living in Hawaii. Do you feel like it's expensive? Because that's all I hear.
Yeah, it's the most expensive. Though that's like public info, right? Like it's the least affordable place to live in the country. The Bay Area is up there too, but splitting hairs, they're both super expensive and hard to live in.
Wife and 2 kids. How much do you spend like every week in groceries?
Groceries. I have a video where I went over my full expenses, and we burn a lot on food. Like between eating out and groceries. Probably $1,500 a month on food.
That's
$2,000 a month on food.
That's low.
That's low to you because you can expense your meals and you have business lunches and you've lived this business lifestyle.
That is true.
For a 9-to-5er, they're not trying to spend $2,000 per month on food. Like that's a mortgage. That's their mortgage payment. They're going to equal their mortgage payment on their food. With their food. So
is that just with grocery shopping, not including eating out?
No, that's eating out. Eating out and food. We don't cook enough,
I think as a culture with our new society nowadays, a lot of people are starting to eat out. Like, I don't really notice people like cooking at home. Or maybe it's just me because we probably haven't used our stove for like 2.5 years.
Really?
Yeah. We eat out every night.
Yeah. Me too. I eat out too much.
But my point is this. Like I can go to like Chili's, right? Mm-hmm. And I can get 2 meals and an appetizer.
The margarita chicken breast with broccoli.
For $25. Yeah. I can go get the same meal in Hawaii for like $40-something, $50. Like that's how much more it costs. It's weird.
It's expensive, and that's a sensitive topic, right? So for me, since we do a lot of relocation, we saw a lot of local people, and we love it when local people are moving back home and we're able to help them. That's beautiful. That's one of our favorite things to do. Mm-hmm. But it's not always. It's mainland people or whatever, and so we get heat. Local people are like in the comments, they light us up. Oh, you guys pilau. You guys selling the land, and us Hawaiians can't even afford it. And as who we are, my mahe, she went to Kamehameha. She's very Hawaiian. I don't want to sidetrack us. I thought I was Hawaiian up until a few years ago. I did my ancestry, and I'm not. But the heart is still there, and we have to reconcile that, and we have to think about that. And you saw probably a lot of people moving from Hawaii to Vegas, and it's not all of them necessarily wanted to. They had to, some of them. And so, Hawaii is very expensive, and I can take a moment and acknowledge that. I can take a moment and acknowledge how tough it is, how hard it is for the normal person, especially for the auntie, the kupuna. But I don't like to live there because it doesn't serve me. It doesn't do me well. What more so I'd like is more local people to read Rich Dad Poor Dad, more local people to play cash flow, the board game, more local people to get financially literate. Stop buying the lifted Tacoma with the 33s when you cannot afford it. Stop buying Heinekens every night when you cannot afford it. And, move in, hui up. Filipinos do it. Immigrants come here and succeed still.
Yeah.
And so, because their mindset's different. And so if you got to hui up and live in a house in Waipahu, Hawaiian, whatever, and then eventually everyone can buy and now everyone can stay, everyone can hold the land, pa'aina or whatever. Like, let's just change our mindset because, yeah, it's harder than it was in 1970 to afford things. But other than post-World War II, like, golden era, it's the easiest it's ever been in history. 1870, 1770, 870, before Christ. Like, I wake up and I try to remind myself that every day. Like, yeah, we grind. You and I, like, we're obsessed with the work. We work hard, but from what? From our iPhones and this freaking camera. Like, these are first world problems. Yeah. And if this is what it takes to make it, like, I think we could keep more Hawaii people in Hawaii through financial literacy.
So what you're saying is this directed towards the people that are making these type of comments?
Yeah, it's like, channel? I guess it's like some outward processing of it. And also just an invitation for people to elevate, Or if you want to move Vegas, go move Vegas. Don't sell your home in Hawaii. Keep it. Yeah. Let that equity grow. Have an exit strategy to go back home if you want to.
And rent that out. Yeah.
Rent that out. Come back. Come to Vegas. Live a good Ninth Island life. Mm-hmm. Like, it's great out here. I was like, it's, great friends out here. Buy multiple properties out here. Like, the Bernice Pauahi Bishop, who formed Kamehameha Schools, and the whole, like, I'm getting deep, right? The whole, like, Hawaiian, monarchy, knowing that we were going to become of the West, whether we liked it or not, they didn't have a victim mentality. They weren't like, oh, it sucks and now everything's going to be bad and Hawaii's expensive. They're like, okay, let's make this education system so we can compete, so we can participate and compete. And that's just what we have to do, So I mean that as constructively and empathetically as possible. But rather than focus on how expensive Hawaii is, I'll acknowledge it, but I don't want to focus on it. I want to focus on people being able to sustain and compete and exist there, if that's their choice. Yeah. Yeah.
What's the average household income in Hawaii right now?
I don't know that stat, but what I do know is the wage disparity is heavy. So, like, the Bay Area is really expensive. Mm-hmm. Food and stuff, not like Hawaii. It's not like $12 milk in the Bay, like Hawaii. But the Bay was super expensive, but also wages were high. So, like, a nurse in the Bay would make $70, $80, $90 an hour. It's expensive, but you could maybe live, out a little bit, do a little commute and buy a house. Same kind of cost of living. Little cheaper real estate than California Bay Area and Hawaii, but everything else much more expensive. Travel, you have to leave and travel and stuff. So Hawaii being arguably more expensive, or at least as expensive, the same nurse makes more like $50 to $70 something an hour. So, like, there's a wage disparity, and most regular jobs in Hawaii pay, like an office job will pay 50 to 80,000 at best, more like 50, 60,000. And so with two people making 50, 60,000 with a couple kids, like, they're at the poverty line working regular jobs.
Yeah, there was a article that I was reading that was talking about the average household income in Hawaii is roughly about 125.
Makes sense. A couple $60,000 jobs, right?
And basically it was talking about, like, home affordability. I think the median price point for a condo right now is about $700,000 to $800,000. Yeah. And you got to understand, with the HOA fees and stuff like that, right? It's another $1,000. So you're probably paying like $4,800 a month. My point is that the cost of living there is getting so expensive that there was an article that I read, about 65% of the natives, right, have moved out of
I saw that recently. I saw
Hawaii,
that article.
Which is kind of fascinating to me. It's almost like you're getting pushed out, but then the people that do have money, right, from the mainland that have money, they're repositioning some of their money into a certain asset class, because Hawaii has unicorn properties. And what I mean by that is, you may have a beachfront property that you can buy for $2 million. Once you have that property and you hold on to it, based upon current inflation and how we're printing money, right? Those properties will always go up in value.
It's a great store of wealth.
Exactly. And I think that's what's happening. And I understand why Native Hawaiians are moving off the island, but then why our Hawaiian people are also pissed off because they're kind of forced to go, right? Because of the cost of living. But then people from the mainland that have money, they're repositioning some of their money, and they understand because they are educated about money and how money works. And this, where we go back to that analogy or that whole story you're talking about, that you have to educate more of the people from Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Because the more financially educated you are, not going out and buying a 350 Ford that's 120,000, you got to make a payment and you're taking it to 72 months, which is kind of crazy to me. You shouldn't be buying something like that. Sometimes in life, you have to take a hard hit up front, stack your money, and constantly reposition, right? Yeah. And that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
But also, I think one of the problems is that the education in Hawaii is not that great. I mean, Vegas ain't that great either.
Yeah.
But I feel like Vegas is so much far advanced, right, with financial education, right, that is completely different from Hawaii. And I think it also starts from educating, right? Based upon what you're saying is you got to educate the people, right? And you got to play the game. But there are some people in Hawaii I've noticed on that have their own YouTube channel. We talked about this gentleman. He's like, 24 now? And he's killing it.
Doing great.
Right? Doing great, right?
Doing great.
Because through social media and what's going on with the world today, people are getting more educated. And I think that's just important that, people need to get financially educated.
Yeah.
But my point is that at the end of the day, it just kind of sucks based upon what's going on in Hawaii. And that's the reason why we deal with a lot of clients from Hawaii repositioning out here.
Right.
The cost of living, right? And also they want to try something new because they realize, wait, I can get 2 houses for the price of one, right? Food costs, state income tax. I mean, you don't even pay the state income tax. So what happens is that if you take a look at the population in Hawaii, right, there are more baby boomers in Hawaii looking to transition. That's the problem. When you get older, right, you downsize. You got to move the money somewhere. You want to live a comfortable life.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm starting to see. But there are some clients that I deal with, they may have 1 or 2 properties in Hawaii. We may liquidate one, do a 1031 exchange out here, but keep that one property.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes, or a lot of times, they get inherited a property where, their great-great-grandma owned it. Sometimes it's not even worth it to sell it. It's better just to cash flow it, but keep that property as a strategy. And the money that you're making off of it, right, you can utilize that money to purchase a property out here.
Yep.
And then you can come out here, hey, this is my primary residence. So that way you can take advantage of all those capital gains or whatever you want to take advantage of for tax purposes, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are doing that position.
That's smart. Spend 6 months in a day in Ninth Island and spend
there
the
you
rest
go.
of the time in Hawaii, and then avoid 10, 13, 14, 15, 16% of taxation.
And we were just talking about this, like, I wanted to buy an apartment complex out here. Cap rate's about 3%. The numbers are not making sense, especially if you're trying to leverage out your money and you want to borrow money, 3, 5, 7 year term, on these commercial type of deals. I mean, they're like at 6, 7%. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Now, I think it was last month I was in Hawaii. I put in an offer on an 8-unit apartment complex in Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
For $2 million, all cash, as is. And it was a lowball offer, but the thing about this it was such a unicorn property.
Okay.
Right, it was right next to Ala Moana. The units, I felt like I can go a little bit up on price, but I wasn't gonna make that much cash flow. But I was okay with that because of the depreciation, and I can probably force the rents to go up. And I know later on, 10, 15 years from now, right, as inflation occurs, I know I can raise the rents and I'll probably make my money. And I got to store my money somewhere. But obviously, I didn't get that deal. So now I'm going to Kansas this weekend and go somewhere else. Now, what about like gas in Hawaii? Because gas here is getting pretty damn expensive.
I don't know. You know, I mean, not to sound I don't like the way this sounds, but I don't pay attention to it because
That's a good thing. You know what that means? That means you got a good mindset. Because if you focus on gas, every time you go to the pump, you're always going to think, oh, this is how much it costs.
my dad, I love my dad. I spoke on stage yesterday. And and a bunch of people posted it, and my dad was like, I'm proud of you. And
Yeah.
I was like, love you, Dad. All to make you proud, you know. And I love my dad. So preface that with throwing some shade his way.
Yeah.
He would drive from Eva Beach to Waipio to get Costco gas because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I'm doing the math. I'm like, Dad,
Why would you do that? And
it
go wait
makes
in line.
No sense.
Wait in line.
I think he probably just wanted to, you know, get away, have some alone time too.
Yeah.
But he would like his mindset, like, oh, I can go drive over there to get the cheaper gas. Now that I've over many years like morphed into thinking like a business person, and I look at return on time.
Mm-hmm.
It just whatever gas is in front of me, that's the one I pay for. But it is expensive, and to the Hawaiian person who is like barely making it, that can make a huge difference. And it's expensive. Hawaii's just expensive.
Now, the other thing is that I know that this whole podcast is like about Hawaii, how everything's expensive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that sounds negative, but the whole point of this show is basically a lot of my clients are coming from Hawaii because they're getting pushed out. I mean, it is what it is, right? But also on the flip side, like I mentioned before, I try to buy a home in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hawaii is a very beautiful place. Every time I step foot off that Hawaiian Airlines, I breathe the air, walking down the terminal, everything is all open.
Yeah.
I got the rush of the aloha.
Yeah.
There's something about it where I'm willing to spend the money later on, and this is my vision. And I should have bought this fucking property a long time ago, dude. Let me just, there was a property on the fucking beach that I did not buy for like 1.4 million.
Where?
It was over there by like Waianae side. I know.
Upena Street, probably. Yeah,
And
there's
it was a nice beachfront property, and it was such a great deal. And I'm telling myself, like, let's just buy this and let's hold it. And I never did. But now I regret that. But at that time, I wasn't ready. Okay.
Yeah.
But my vision now is to have some beachfront property in Hawaii with some white sand, no reef, because I don't want no reef in front of it, right? I just want sandbar. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
With some grass.
Changes the value, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Like in Eva Beach. Because most affordable beachfront property is Eva Beach and Waianae.
Well, Eva Beach is pretty expensive now.
Pretty expensive. So when you said $2 million earlier, I was like, go up. Probably unless
Yeah.
it's Waianae. But Eva Beach, a lot of that is reef in front of the ocean.
Yeah.
A very few sandy pockets. And if you have the house on the sandy pocket, it can change the value by hundreds of thousands.
That's funny. And that's what we call unicorn properties. Yeah. But also depending on if you're going to utilize that or not, right? But I feel like if I'm going to spend this kind of money, I just want more sandbar as well. But I want to have a grass so that way, you know, if the nieces and nephews come over, or if I have, you know, friends and family that fly in, you know, we have a place to stay.
Yeah.
I don't need something big, but I just want something, right? Because it's going to be a unicorn property. I mean, that's the vision, right? Imagine that palm trees, you know, barbecuing, you got the grass, you know, playing volleyball, you got the kayaks, people are just having fun.
I don't want a beachfront property.
Oh, you don't?
The maintenance, the salt eating everything.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in a position where you just
I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it.
It is what it is. But I kind of would like a house kind of on the mountains, country, you know, somewhere.
What about like tentless?
Tentless, yeah, something. Or
me, is this too high?
If I'm going to live in town, I'd probably live in Ward.
Ward,
Village,
okay.
Like bougie, Whole Foods right across the street, and a high-rise condo. and then I'll have my like house North Shore. Like my house on the North Shore with some land.
That is the only downfall with North Shore. I mean, there's a couple properties that pretty decent you can get for like 2.4. I was looking at like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, actually, like in Haleiwa.
Yeah.
And it's pretty nice. But the downfall is that, dude, the traffic. Imagine if you're trying to go home.
Oh no, that's you're hunkering down if there's bad traffic.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you almost gotta time it, right? It's just like when I went back, I was hanging out with my mom and I was like, yo, let's go. let's go to like in the town.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to go. I'm like, why? She's like, I don't want to sit in traffic. If we go, we got to leave now and make sure that we got to leave town by a certain time.
Yeah.
And it was so fascinating. Her whole life was about time, right? When to go, when to leave. Like she had a full schedule around the traffic. Like,
Yeah, I grew up in Eva Beach. And
oh shit.
Fort Weaver Road. So there's Eva Beach is the only place left on Oahu where they're doing a lot of building.
Yeah.
For people who aren't familiar. And so adding thousands of people to the island in that area specifically, because everywhere else is either they've already built and or it's not zoned to build at mass scale.
Mm-hmm.
And so grew up in Eva Beach. I graduated high school 2002, and in a period of time where population was growing rapidly, but the road widening wasn't happening. So I remember it was on CNN or something, we had the worst 20-mile run of traffic from Eva Beach to town in the country at that time, they said. Since then, they've widened the road. They added another exit for Ho'opili, and not as bad. But yeah, could take 3 hours to get to or from if there was an accident from Eva Beach.
So if you're from Eva Beach and you're going into town, you can have traffic up to like 3 hours.
If there's an accident, yeah.
Oh
like I'll just pull over and go do something. You're in Hawaii, like freaking. If you're by Aiea and that happens, like get off, go Pearl Ridge, watch a movie.
How do you solve that
eat
problem?
a plate lunch. Well, they added the rail, which is a whole other podcast controversy. But
I seen that rail, but it seems like nobody's riding that shit.
it goes from nowhere to nowhere. So it's not.
I do want to try to ride it though. Have you ridden it yet?
We rode it. Yeah,
Was it
rode
fun?
And did a YouTube video. It's cool. I lived in the Bay Area, so I started out open to it because I'm like, less pollution, less traffic. Hawaii values are like take care of the land, chill.
Yeah.
So like helps you take care of the land and chill. So like that's all good. But then the management of it, like it goes from nowhere to nowhere. And then even at that's right now because they opened it up prematurely to say, hey, you can ride it if you want. Even when it goes to town though, it's not going to stop in like where it like gets you almost there. So you're going to have to go town and then jump on a bus.
Yeah, I've noticed that. You don't have too many stops. But also one thing I've noticed is that they spent all this money towards it and
most expensive per capita. I had an economist on my other podcast Hawaii, and he said most expensive train per capita in history of the world, the universe.
Do you think the politicians there suck? Seems like they're sucking everything out of your.
Are politicians good anywhere? Like
that's true. Yeah.
The thing is, government is made to turn a dollar into a nickel.
Yeah.
The government's not profitable by design. So the bigger government gets, the less profitable it is, right? And so, I think we do have some governmental mismanagement for sure. I don't know what place doesn't. I mean, government.
I mean, you have all that all over the place, but my point is that here in Vegas, they move things fast. Like that stadium, they passed that. If it was out in LA, that wouldn't have happened.
Oh, Hawaii, like our permitting issue, yeah. You cannot get permits. There's thousands of permits backed up. You want to build. Like I have a client who's been wanting to sell her house, cannot because can't close a permit for over a year. We also had issues recently.
Hey, you can't like.
Yeah, so we had issues. People went to jail for taking money and taking bribes.
That's funny that you said I have a client like that.
And I've heard of some people that happening. And so, but here's the thing. I look at incentives. Excuse me. If you put out sugar, ants are going to find it because they have an incentive. And they look at energy output versus calorie input.
Yeah.
They're unemotional and they're incentive driven.
Yeah.
We're animalistic. If you wanted to remove the incentive of bribing, you would make the permitting process efficient.
Yeah.
If it takes me months to get my permit, I'm willing to pay. If the program's super efficient and I could get it pretty quick within days, why am I going to pay you?
Mm-hmm.
So by design, it wants to be inefficient.
Yeah, but why don't they just charge a higher cost and just get it done? You see what I'm saying?
They want it. It's government by design is inefficient. I was in the Coast Guard. You want to experience socialism or communism? Like, go to the Coast Guard. Like your pay is public. You're barely rewarded for merit. It's just step system. You could solve cancer. You're not going to become a millionaire. You'll get an award and a ribbon, but you're not. you're gonna earn monetarily off of that necessarily. You're told what doctor to use. They tell you what kind of medicine. They literally own your body. So when you're in the military, if you go do something dumb they told you not to do, like go fight MMA, and they said you cannot, you hurt your shoulder, they can book you for destruction of government property. So like the military is this socialist construct, and I'm not saying it's bad. I love our military. I was in it. I love it. But I understand that it's wasteful. I understand at the end of the fiscal year, they come and say, hey, we're ordering new stuff. I was like, we just got that stuff last year. Yeah, but we need to spend the money, because if we don't spend the money, we won't get the budget next year. Yeah. I didn't know I was a business person yet, but I would argue with them. I'd be like, we should get an incentive for not spending the money. Like, this is insane. And they were like, that's not how it works. We got to spend the money so we can justify getting the money.
How long were you in the Coast Guard?
6 years active, 17 total with reserve. I got out.
What rank did you get out at?
Not high, only E5.
Not high, only E5.
I didn't.
But you was making at least like $6,000.
What, in the Coast Guard?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know we were pinching pennies, but stability. You always knew you were going to get that next paycheck. Yeah.
But you got medical. You probably had housing.
Medical and housing, and then
you used to live Red Hill?
No, I was in California. I was in.
Oh, this is in California. Okay.
So,
because my dad was in the Coast Guard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We were in the Coast Guard now. Well, actually, he was in the Navy for like 4 years. Then after that, he got out. He went over to the Coast Guard and finished his retirement with the Coast Guard. That's
cool. It's beautiful. And if you're having fun, and you don't mind the geographic instability, and you don't mind the, subordination you have to submit to and follow orders, and that's all fine with you, Coast Guard's amazing. Here's the thing. You go in at 18, you get out at 38, you get a retirement that's maybe, it's half of your base pay.
You can still start your life at 38, man.
At 38, yeah. And
that's great.
But the thing is, passive income, that's the buzzword, right? Mm-hmm. That Coast Guard retirement, say it's $3,000 plus most people end up with some veteran VA disability. Mm-hmm. So say you're at $5,000 a month passive at age 38. How hard would you have had to work and build up properties at a 6-8% return to achieve $5,000 passive at 38? Mm-hmm. Like, you're probably not going to do that in real estate, most people, but you just go in the Coast Guard. The asset is the government pension. And so if you want to talk about passive income and working for 20 years.
I think that's the novelty right there. A lot of things that people see on social media, like flipping homes and all that, honestly, probably 2 out of 100 people actually really make it, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. And everybody always, like you said, throws that around, passive income. That's kind of like the carrot that you dangle in front of a donkey's face, right?
Yeah. So the point is, if you're having fun in the Coast Guard, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. And I almost like envy the people who are having fun. They're enjoying their job, and then they get that passive income. They get that government retirement, and now they can go start a whole nother real estate career or whatever. And that's the other thing about it being so hard. Like, times are so hard. I want to sit there and cry with you and relate with you, but also like, bruh,
get off your ass.
Join the Coast Guard. Yeah. Coast Guard not gonna let you starve. But you got to deal with some asshole supervisors. Every summer it changes. Might be good, might be bad. Depends on who comes in. Depends on what rank you are. Depends on what your job is. Kind of shitty, but you're not going to starve. And you can have VA loan. You can buy a house. You can build investments. But you got to make that hard decision and do that hard thing. And I didn't want to go. I was crying when I left for the airport to go to the Coast Guard.
Oh, really?
I didn't want to go. I was just going because I wasn't doing anything. I was just chasing girls and partying and doing nothing productive.
Well, that's a good branch to get into. Like, if you're gonna join the military, so here's the thing. When I was in high school, I was actually in ROTC because I was gonna, join the military. But now that I look back, if I was gonna join the military, it would definitely be the Coast Guard, the Air Force, then the Navy, right?
Yeah.
Then probably after the Navy, then I would just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna become a Marine.
There's different reasons for doing all of them, right? And it's noble. I thank you all for your service.
Yeah.
I joined the Coast Guard because I didn't want to leave America. My dad was misdiagnosed with a disease at the time.
He was misdiagnosed.
Misdiagnosed with Lou Gehrig's, ALS.
Oh, shit.
And so we didn't know if he'd be gone next year. And so I didn't want to leave, go join the Air Force and be in Germany or Korea. Yeah. And I was also honestly kind of afraid to. I was small-minded and afraid to leave the country, and I didn't want to. And in hindsight, I regret it. I wish I would have maybe done the Air Force and spent some time in another country. Just more what's the saying? do hard things and life will be easy. Do easy things and life will be hard. And so the more hard things you go towards, the better life is, you know.
Did I ever ask you why you moved to Hawaii?
I was born in Florida. My dad left. I came home from fishing with my dad one day. They were divorced, and my mom was like, "Come inside," and he's like, "Nah."
Or your dad said that?
Yeah, and I'm only 4th, 5th grade at the time.
Oh shit!
He's
So
like,
you probably like what, 10?
Yeah, something like I was 5th grade, I think.
Okay, yeah.
He's like, no, come inside, and he's like, nah. He's like, Harry, it's your mom. She's in the hospital, and he's like. So back then, no iPhones. They only knew the one house number, which was my parents were married. That house number, right? So they called, and then my dad flew out the next day. And he, you know, it's not like now we all travel. You get Southwest, Spirit Airlines. Our parents, they're like my dad couldn't afford. He went home in 30 years living in Florida. He went home once in between.
Yeah.
Well, at the 15-year mark, and then at the 30-year mark, he went home. My grandma was dying, so he went home. He met the nurse who was taking care of my grandma. Spit some game, you know. He ended up marrying her. That's my stepmom, and
He spit some game.
He lost his job. He got laid off at the base. He's working at the base in Pensacola, and then just so happened he got a job in Hawaii, and he made the decision to go. And so that summer we visited, and again afraid, I didn't want to go get on the plane.
Yeah,
we visited, but I got off the plane and everyone's brown and they were in slippers and they're wearing shakas and hey, how's it? I'm like, how's it? Oh, wow, I love this. And so I visited that summer, missed it. I'm still young. I'm not like, you know, I didn't reach that next pubescent stage.
Yeah.
The next summer I leave, I'm heartbroken. I stayed all summer from like a couple days after we got out of school.
Oh, and you didn't want to leave.
I was heartbroken, like just crying.
What made you want to stay? And what made you feel like, you know what, this is actually where I want to be?
That aloha, the people, the culture, the ocean, my father figure. Home, Pensacola was in a stable. My mom had had her issues. I love her. She's since passed, and so then the next summer I came, and I kind of already knew I was going to stay for good. My mom was kind of insecure that I might stay, and I called her in the middle of the trip. I remember calling her from Polymorphia.
And you let her know.
I said, Mom, I'm not coming home.
How'd she take that?
Oh, crying, screaming, mad.
How old were you at this time?
12.
And you made that decision, huh? Like, yo, I'm staying.
When I think about, if you want to call me successful now, and I think about it, that's the first big, hard decision I made.
Mm-hmm.
And every point of success after that came from big, hard decisions. Like,
you were scared, though, I bet, huh?
Always scared. I'm still scared. We were talking about earlier. I'm scared to buy an investment right now. It's like, I don't come from send it mindset. Just send it. Yeah, it'll be fine. Send it. I come from more of a scarcity mindset, so I have to overcome that. And so first, this is a hard decision, moving to Hawaii, leaving my mom in my comfort zone. Second hard decision, joining the Coast Guard. I didn't want to go, but I was doing easy things. Easy things were drinking, working my job,
but
chasing girls.
You had to do it.
Had to do it.
Something was telling you and firing you up like, yo, I got to do this.
I got to do something hard, get my life together, do something hard. Next, honestly, it's hard, but next great decision, which is a big decision, got married. My wife's an amazing woman.
And you met her in Hawaii?
Met her in Hawaii.
Okay.
Then I had to choose to get out of the Coast Guard. You were saying something earlier about people like had limiting beliefs. When I was getting out of the Coast Guard, they were like, well, where are you going to live? What are you going to eat? Because it was 2010, or 12. So 2009, 10, like that whole financial crisis had just happened. So the adults were like, you're going to leave this security, this pension? Like, what? It's hard out there. What are you going to eat? I was like, what are you going to eat? Like, oh, small-minded. Like, I got to get out of here. What are you going to eat? Like,
I think that's what makes you successful, because if you have fear, right, you make things happen versus sitting complacent. And that's where people fall victim. They go from 9 to 5, they become complacent, they become reliable on something.
Content.
And now next thing you know it, you become a slave to the system.
You're a slave to, air quotes, comfort. But tell me what employeeism is a modern construct. It's not normal. Throughout history, you had to hunt, gather, then you had to farm, then you had to trade and barter. And entrepreneurship and 1099, self-employment, is how humans have been until the Industrial Revolution, when Rockefeller and Carnegie,
but
American
not everybody
Steel,
has it.
But those people created the Industrial Revolution happens with Edison, the light bulb, oil. Like, I'm not a historian, but after that, jobs became a thing. That's why unions came after that, because they're like, well, frick, if we're going to make everyone go to these job things, you're going to be throwing 12-year-old kids out the back door when they die to keep production going. we're going to need a union.
Yeah.
But employeeism is a modern construct. So I've had, my identity was wrapped up in what I did. I loved working at the Children's Hospital, taking care of sick kids with cancer, did x-ray.
Dude, I don't even know how you would even do something like that.
Because the mission's
That'd be
bigger
hard.
than me. Because I'm an intense, dominant guy, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna leave my family for 12 hours a day, better be for something good. And that was a mission I could attach myself. I'm more proud of that than my Coast Guard service, right? And so, where is it going with that?
I don't know, but it was good. Okay.
Wait, what were we talking about?
I don't even know. We just were all over the place. You got out of the Coast Guard.
I was doing the x-ray thing.
It was your next step.
It was my next step. I was getting out. Frick, I don't know. I totally lost it.
I did too.
I totally lost it.
I was literally on the story that you were just talking about. Okay, so you're talking about, you're helping the kids, right? Then your next accomplishment of your fear, right? You went from
so I've had jobs go sideways. So that job, it went kind of sideways. I didn't get fired, but I quit. But these coworkers.
You didn't get fired, but you quit. So what else can you do?
So I went down to MRI, and the thing going to MRI is takes years. It's like this from X-ray to MRI.
Sounds like a boring job.
It's boring, yeah. But it's like you
pays good though,
make
right?
a little more money, you know, and but it's supposed to take years. But me being a go-getter, I made it happen, and they were like, you can't do that, and I'm like, well, management said I could, and they're like, but how? It's not supposed to be that way, and I'm like, well, I went to school, I negotiated the job, and I got it, and they were like, fuck you think you are? And so this group of people decided before I even went to MRI, we're gonna get him fired. It was known, they're like, we made a plan, we're gonna get him fired. But I was like, nah, I excel at helping sick kids. When they see my work, and I achieved some things. I was in there for a few weeks, and the lead, this famous doctor who speaks things and has a partnership with General Electric and GE, and he asked me to be the lead of the department. I was like, you fucking crazy lead. I don't even know how to turn the MRI machine on. He's like, yeah, but the mindset you have, I need that as the lead. And so anyways, they made it bad for me. And so I was like, I'm going to quit because this job's not enjoyable. I'm going to quit. And that was really hard. Then the next thing I did was move to Hawaii with both my wife and kids, no jobs. That was hard. And then everything I've done.
Yeah, but what made you choose Hawaii at that point?
It's home. It was moving back home for me,
Okay. So you were like, you know what? This is a whole start. If I'm going to start, this is where I'm going.
Yeah, because I was afraid, limited mindset. Because I was supposed to move back to Hawaii 2010. But then I extended in the Coast Guard, 11, 12, didn't go. Oh, I got into X-ray school in California. Now it's 14. Oh, I got a job at Stanford. It's really good. As far as I went to work Polymomi. Stanford's the pinnacle of that field.
Yeah.
Children's Hospital, promotion. I wasn't leaving California out of comfort. Things got really hard. Now that was a little bit more of a forced hand, but things got hard and then things got great. Every time things get hard, they get great. And so but we're built to protect ourselves from hard stuff. So we don't always go towards the hard, but every time it's either come to me or I've gone to it, things got really great on the other end. So
yeah. All right. Well,
I'm 2 minutes out. I didn't pre-plan Uber, but those people are coming to pick me up. I got one question for you. Let's finish it on this.
Okay.
We talked about aloha and cost of living and hustle mentality out here versus Hawaii's refreshing, laid back, frequency. Do you think you can have hustle like Vegas but maintain aloha? Or if you brought in that kind of strict hustle, would it kind of diminish the aloha too? Because if you got to get somewhere, you're not throwing shakas and throwing on blinker. You should fucking go. You got to go. So I wonder if they're mutually exclusive. Can you make Hawaii a hustle, entrepreneurship mentality of New York, but also keep Hawaii? And that's the unfortunate thing. I don't know the answer to.
Why couldn't you? That lies within.
Because do you know a place that's as hustle as New York, but that is as kind as Hawaii?
Well, it just comes down to the person. It doesn't come.
You individually can, but as a populace, could we? Could that be achieved?
Well, you know what?
I like to think yes.
I feel like you can spread, right? It starts with one person. As long as you can spread that to two people, from 2 is 4, right? It's to 8, 16, 32, right? Yeah. 64, right? It just keeps multiplying, right?
Yeah.
I think you can. But my belief, it starts off with you as an individual, with your beliefs, And that's all that really matters, right? It doesn't matter what happens at the end. What matters is what lies within and what you do as a person, right? So
accountability, best way to live.
So any final words before we let you go? And I do appreciate you coming on the show.
Nah, bro, thank you. Thank you for everyone out there. Thank you for your time. It's fun. We both crush YouTube, and so I was excited to meet you and meet the crew here. This place is dope.
I do appreciate it. All right, guys. Now, if you guys are thinking about moving here from Las Vegas, don't forget to visit ninthisland.com. Here's the reason why you want to move out here to Las Vegas if you are thinking about moving from Hawaii. Obviously, it is tax purposes, the affordability of living, home ownership, right? It's reachable, right? Now, if you have bad credit, don't worry about that. We can help you with that. We have all type of loan programs for you. All you got to do is visit ninthisland.com and go ahead and enter your information into the website, and we're going to reach on out to you. We're going to give you some strategic planning on how to reposition out here from Las Vegas. Guys, I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. I'm Chakits. Peace.